On today's show, it's all about the beta. We're at the midway point, which means it's time for the Destiny report card. Some news comes out of left field that's redefining what it means to be next gen. That's right, Destiny characters will work cross-generation, and Iron Banner tips to help beta players get the best gear possible. All that and more on today's Destiny the Show.
You're listening to Destiny the Show. Welcome, Guardians.
What is up, everybody? July 21st is here, and okay, I'm kind of sad. I'm going to be honest. This last few days was torturous. Torturous for an Xbox peasant. It was horrible because, I wanted to watch Destiny stuff, and then I'd start watching, I couldn't watch it anymore, so I turned it off, and then I turned it back on again, and it was a horrible process. I was being ripped apart from my very core. But we have our resident Ditty here, who's been playing the beta, you lucky jerk, for the last 4 days, and I'm here to grill him. Ditty, how was your week? In one sentence, how was the beta? Because we're going to talk about it in detail today.
It was good enough for me to skip meals and neglect hygiene for the entire weekend.
Were you stanky?
I didn't shower for about 48 hours.
Some stank right there. I'm sure Santa Chrome really loved that. And you were probably hungry, but that's okay. So it was worth it.
She was away at QuakeCon this entire weekend, so I had the entire apartment to myself, but I actually had to go to the store and buy food. We didn't have anything. I had 20 pizza bagels for dinner on Friday night. That's not healthy at all.
Oh,
I
no.
need to eat vegetables for the next month to counterbalance that.
So Destiny Beta is making you overweight, is what you're saying. Man, Bungie
So
hates
far.
you. They hate everything. They're evil. Well, we've got a lot of news. Just kidding. We have very little news today. It's mainly about the beta today. But let's get through the news because I am tearing at the bits to find out what the beta was like and to grill you with as many questions as possible. All right, so a quick bit of news for our own show today. I wanted to mention, if you were an iTunes subscriber in the previous 2 weeks, I have moved the podcast to a new set of servers that are faster and more reliable. But what that means for you is you'll need to resubscribe to the show on iTunes. iTunes podcasts are really nasty the way RSS feeds work. I don't want to get too much into it. This is the only time in the DTS show history that you're going to have to worry about it. So the link to our iTunes page is in the description below. You can also just search for it on the iTunes store, Destiny the Show. It'll show up right there. I wanted to ensure that, you guys had the best possible experience while listening, and the site that I had used originally to host the podcast, I wasn't stoked on. So that's the only news there. And dude, let's move on to something big. Did you hear this? Destiny characters cross-generation. Crazy, right, Ditty?
Yeah, that's awesome. Isn't that the first time in gaming history that's happened?
It's gotta be. I'm sure somebody in the comments could be like, no, there was this thing on the Dreamcast and but that's so cool. So what this means, guys, is if you're playing on the Xbox 360 and you decide to upgrade to an Xbox One, your character is able to play on the 360 version of the game and the Xbox One version of the game. Everything carries over. Now, it's not cross, Xbox to Sony. Can't do that. But PS3 can use their character on PS4 and vice versa, PS4 to PS3. That is so cool in my mind.
Yeah, it's a really nice thought that Bungie put into creating the game. They realized, oh, hey, we're releasing the game in September. People might get next generation consoles for Christmas, so that we don't want them to lose their progress and just be stuck behind everybody else. That's a really nice thought.
It's so out of left field because normally with a new game like this, it's all designed to sell consoles. What is the Master Chief Collection? It's designed to sell Xboxes. That's why I own this thing.
Xbox edition.
That's why I own. It's a Halo box. My Xbox is a Halo box, and it's like Nintendo. Mario titles are there to sell Nintendo consoles. It's just a really cool idea from Bungie, and I don't think we've ever seen this kind of support for 4 consoles at once. And I don't know if you saw any of the PS3 footage. Epos Fox put out a video. I thought it looked really good on the PS3. Not like this Titanfall stuff, which, well, okay, Titanfall's kind of unfair because that was a really hefty game, but it doesn't look that scaled down.
Yeah, a lot of the PlayStation 3 in the latter portion of its life, they all looked really good. Like Uncharted 3 looked amazing.
Yeah.
And stuff on the PlayStation 3 is going to look good, and Destiny is no exception.
I'm wondering what the 360 version will look like.
Well, actually, IGN just put out the first ever Destiny Xbox One. Oh, that's Xbox One. Never mind.
That's all right.
I was just about to say, never mind.
That's cool.
Forget I said anything.
Well, no, wait. This leads into our next news story because the Xbox One beta will be in 900p resolution and it will release in 1080p. And we got the link to that. I mean, that's not a surprise. We kind of knew when the Xbox One video leaked a few weeks ago that it wasn't going to be 1080p, but I don't care because I would rather get the beta than not get the beta just because it's not 1080p. Was the PlayStation 4 running at 1080p?
I believe so, yes.
Well, it would make sense for you guys over there on the nice side of the street while us in Shantytown are just coughing up lungs trying to feed our families. Their Xboxes, can't really do that. So, yeah, cross-generation, 900p. Oh, subclasses. Oh my gosh, some guy wrote this huge post on Reddit that details all the subclasses that have been seen within Destiny in the beta. The link's there. I don't know. Did you get a chance to look at this?
I did, actually. I only read up on the Hunter one, though, because I'm maining Hunter class. It's really detailed. So there's 3 different subclasses for each class, right?
Yeah.
So Hunter
as we know
has 3
so far.
subclasses. And yeah, exactly, that we know so far. And one was playable in the beta, but there's 2 visible in the beta. So you can see the skill trees for 2 subclasses, but not all of them in the beta.
Yeah, I'm kind of sad that the level cap was 8. I saw people getting there really fast, and I was hoping that we were going to get to play with some more stuff, but let's be honest, September is really close. It's kind of scaring me.
I reached max level in about 3 hours.
Well, they did say in all of the basic pre-news of the game that hitting level cap is not going to take too long, but getting geared up is going to take
exactly.
ton of time.
Bungie doesn't want the grind to be really long.
Off-putting.
They want the end game content to be one of the main focuses. All the raids, all the strikes, all that kind of stuff. They want that to be easily accessible to everybody. They don't want it to be arduous.
Yeah, well, like with WoW, I've been leveling characters I've played for years and years, and I think now, my best time I can level a character 1 to 90 is close to 100 hours. Maybe a little bit less depending on the class. But I mean, when you think about it, it's 3 days and some change game time. That's a lot of investment just to be able to access endgame content. And I'm really actually quite happy that level 20 is there. I'm sure there's still going to be the ability to put thousands of hours trying to get geared up with the right stuff and multiple characters, etc. So
exactly. Think League of Legends too. Leveling from 1 to 30, it just takes so long, man.
And people want to play ranked. They want to get in there. I like the fact that there's I like that they, put that gate on things. I'm off topic. So I'm going to get on topic and let you guys know that Bungie put out a new weekly update this week. Nothing really came of it. I'll put the link down below. They answered a few questions about the beta. The main thing that came from that was the cross-generation character play, and that's cool. But the Iron Banner. Now, Ditty, you sent me this link, and it says weapon and armor traits matter. Can you explain, A, what the Iron Banner is, and B, this story?
Okay, so the Iron Banner is another multiplayer mode. It's basically the Crucible, but no limits at all to your gear. So in standard Destiny multiplayer Crucible, it's all the weapon damage is standardized, so everyone's on an even playing field. So level 5 characters who just got access to the Crucible are not outgunned by people level 8 who have better gear than them. That's not the case in standard multiplayer. But the Iron Banner removes that. So you have to bring in your best gear to the Iron Banner to do well. So if I have a handgun that does 300 damage and you have an auto rifle that does 60 damage, I can one-shot you.
Yeah.
And it's just that's the truth, and you need to bring in your best gear to the Iron Banner. And this article just describes it. It's an event that Bungie is turning on and off throughout the beta. So we had access to 4 2-hour sessions of the Iron Banner, and the rewards there are actually really cool. The Iron Banner is the only way to access a full-length Hunter cape in the beta, and I finally got that, and it looks amazing.
So this is high-end gear, is what it means.
Yeah, so once the Iron Banner is unlocked, there are different bounties you can complete, like challenges from Halo Reach. Think that.
Yeah.
Like killed 25 enemies with headshots in the Iron Banner.
Yeah.
And the bounty will increase your Iron Banner score or something, and then with that Iron Banner score, you will be able to buy different gear.
That is so cool. And was it insane when you played? Like, were weapons some of those like high-level gear?
Yeah, it was like, oh man, it felt like playing MLG Halo 3 playlists.
Oh my gosh.
It was so intense. Like, there would be people on my team. I ranted on Twitter about this because I was so angry.
We're going to get into it. We're definitely getting into it.
We're going to get into it.
But you can
It was like, I have some pretty good gear on my character, but there were like level 5 people on my team with like their starting weapon that they
Fully
get at the very
under gear.
beginning. Yeah, and they're just like, they're going 2 and 20. And it's just like, come on, man, Iron Banner, you need to step your game up.
Yeah, for real. Well, what's cool though, also, it probably increases, it definitely increases the amount of playing, like Crucible, the amount of players in the Crucible at once. So it's like these peak hours are a double XP time in, like Halo back when they did double XP weekends. That was really cool.
Exactly.
Iron Banner is like, bring your A game. And I'm sure that's when the full squads for like serious duty Crucible stuff is coming out.
Oh yeah, if you don't have 1 or 2 friends playing the Iron Banner, you're gonna get smashed. It's ridiculous because a lot of people are gonna be like, well, it's unfair that you have a better weapon than I am. That's the entire point of the Iron Banner, to show off your gear and to just demolish anybody with it.
That's really cool, man. And the link for that down below, and I'm gonna grill you more about Iron Banner after we continue. Also, there's tips for the Iron Banner and Crucible. That link is included below because I know the Xbox players want to get ahead of the curve with this, because this sort of came out of left field for the PlayStation players, right?
Yeah, we did not expect this to happen at all, and it was a very nice surprise that Bungie just added this to the beta.
Some of the gear pictures from Reddit looked so sexy. There are some pieces in this game, man, that look so good. Did you see the, level 10 Titan gear or like level 20 Titan gear? I can't remember what it was.
I think it's level 20, but
didn't he look cool?
It's awesome. Yeah, it looks awesome.
I want to play Titan still, but everybody's on that Hunter and Warlock grind. I can see why Hunter in Crucible, after watching like Ninja play it game after game after game, Hunter looks so cool, dude.
Hunter's just super mobile.
Yeah.
In my opinion, it's the best in Crucible simply because of the map mobility that it gives you.
Ninja would like slide up into their face, knife them, turn around, shotgun them, then pull out his golden pistol and just blow somebody's face off. And
it's
so cool.
It's awesome.
All right, man. Oh, a new redesigned version of Bungie.net launched. I was like, man, we're out of news already. That was a quick thing. So Bungie.net got a huge facelift. If you don't know, go check it out. It's nice. I don't think it's worth spending a whole lot of time there until the game actually comes out, because it's just a taste of what's to come, I guess.
Yeah, I after playing a lot, I would go to Bungie.net just to check my stats, check my KD, check my Crucible stats. You can actually check out your gear there as well. It's very similar to the companion app.
Okay, and it was good? Reminds you of Halo?
It's not as detailed as the Halo 3 stats yet. Mm-hmm. I really hope they incorporate something very similar.
I bet you they will, because A, there's clan support in this game. If you remember Halo 2 with clan support, that was so stinking cool. And I bet you there'll be clan wars in this game. If they're not, they're missing out.
Oh, I bet. And
last but not least, Crucible game modes have been revealed. There's 6 game modes. I didn't really read much into this, did you?
Not really. I just saw the names. I'm just excited for free-for-all.
Yeah, Rumble's free-for-all, right?
Yeah.
That'll be good for solo players, because you were getting frustrated with some of the team matches.
I am a solo player. Like, I'm a free-for-all player. I just get frustrated with teammates.
Well, lucky for you, The DTS clan is live. That's right. You can join the Destiny the Show clan today. Link down below. And it's basically a clan of listeners of the show. We're here to adventure together, wreck crucibles, destroy the vault of glass, and take pictures of ourselves dancing on other people's corpses. So if you want to join, please do. I'm looking forward to that. We already have some members going in that. Also, you can tweet us a picture of your beta adventure. We'd love to see that. And I did say last but not least, Saturday the 26th, I need to keep hammering this into people. Saturday the 26th, make sure you're playing the beta at 2 p.m. Pacific time. Destiny is having a special event. Bungie keeps telling people, play on this day. It's how you unlock a special logo that carries over to the release of the game. They haven't said what's happening yet, but I can imagine it's something special. I don't know. Thoughts?
I would assume it's something multiplayer related,
You
similar
think?
to the Iron Banner. Or just like a huge public event.
That's
in the
what I
Explorer.
think. I want to see like
I would love to see hundreds of Guardians trying to take out this one just huge boss.
That's
I would
what I'm
love
thinking.
that.
I'm thinking it's going to be a huge public like PvE
That would be
event.
awesome. Yeah.
Could you imagine like a giant monster attacking the tower?
Oh my gosh.
But we'll see. All right, news is done.
This is your ghost, Miranda. And when I'm not out helping Guardians, I'm listening to Destiny the Show.
All right, so we're here to talk about beta stories and impressions. Today is a systematic grilling of Ditty for the details. This is the meat and potatoes, folks. So Ditty, overall, how was the beta experience?
Really good. It was very similar to the alpha. It was just more. Like, there was more story missions. There were a little bit... The map is pretty much the same as the alpha, but like it was just bigger, and there was just more to do, and it was just better.
All right, so before the specifics, what are some of the moments that stand out in your mind as highlights?
Definitely a lot of multiplayer experiences, but there were some times in the Explorer where I would find a lot of loot. Like, there's this... The term surfacing is called Engram Farming. Engrams are the encrypted loot things that you pick up. Like, you see those when you kill an enemy, the green orb or the blue orb flies out of their body. That's an engram. You have to take it back to the tower to decrypt it.
I see.
And it's you can farm those a lot, so you just go back and forth between enemy spawns, and it's just a lot of fun. Like,
After decrypting, does it turn into glimmer?
no, it turns into an item.
Oh,
So it'll actually have a fuzzy picture of what type of engram it is. It'll be like a class mod, like the Hunter Cape, or
so
it'll
it's
be
geared
primary.
specific towards your class and level.
It can be, yes.
It can be. You stalled there. You're like, what?
Well, depending on which class you're playing,
Yeah.
yes.
Okay.
If you happen to get a class engram, it'll be your Hunter Cloak or your Titan.
Okay. Or it can be generic.
Yeah. Or it can be
Okay.
like generic, like a weapon, like any type of weapon or any type of armor that it gives you.
So for the most part, weapons are usable by all classes except for certain ones, correct? Or no? Or yes?
No. If I find a certain weapon that I think would be really awesome on my Titan class,
Yeah.
I can still use it, and I can put it in the vault, which is in the tower.
Yeah.
And I can access the vault from any one of my profiles.
Really?
So if I find a rocket launcher
Yeah.
that my Titan would need, but I'm on my Hunter profile,
Yeah.
I just go back to the tower, put it in the vault, sign into my Titan profile, access my vault, and it's there.
That is so cool.
So that's what I was talking about, what I was telling you a little bit earlier this month about there's not character
Yeah.
trading. Like,
Yeah.
I can't trade my weapon to you, but I
Okay.
can trade it to my other profiles.
Is there an auction house? I don't think
No.
they have something like that. No.
No, they've
Okay.
said that they don't want.
Yeah.
They're
there's-
not going to do one.
Yeah. You don't want the Chinese gold farmers getting involved here yet. So there's no trading between players. Can you sell weapons back to vendors to earn glimmer or points towards new gear, or is it just sort of get rid of it if it doesn't work?
You know, I haven't figured that out yet.
Yeah.
I think we should, but I don't know how to do it. I know you can dismantle certain weapons and get weapon parts,
Yeah.
and then you can use weapon parts to upgrade or
add little knickknacks, doodads.
Yeah,
Okay.
add stuff to your other weapons, but I don't know exactly how that would work.
Okay, no problem. All right, so graphically and performance-wise, how did it handle? How did it feel? Was it different from the alpha, and if so, how?
I really noticed the difference in the multiplayer experience from the alpha, because in the alpha, there would be a lot of lag. And when I say lag, I mean I would headshot you, and then 5 seconds later, you would die. In the alpha, there was a little bit of lag, but it wasn't as pronounced. There was, a few times where I would headshot somebody, and then like a second later, they would die. So they definitely improved their netcoding, but it's an online game. It's going to have some type of lag, but it was still very smooth. 9 times out of 10, I was not experiencing any lag whatsoever.
Okay, so wait. The alpha was laggier than the beta, right?
Yes.
Okay, sorry, I got a little confused there. So a little bit of performance difference in the Crucible. It seemed to me, and this is just from watching Twitch, that this is a really multiplayer-centric beta. It didn't seem like they put much more PvE stuff in, and if like every stream I watched, they were just streaming Crucibles all day.
I think it's just the mindset of the players, of the streamers. They're like, I don't want to stream Explore because I'm going to lose a lot of viewers. I want high action, and that's where the Crucible comes into play. Most streamers are probably going to be playing the Crucible in the beta simply because it's a little bit more action-oriented, because the story missions are just the story missions, and then the Explore, you don't know when action is going to hit you. Yeah, you can be farming engrams, like I say, but that's kind of boring.
Not good.
That's kind of boring to watch after a while.
Oh, of course, you don't watch. Most of the guys on World of Warcraft are PvP streaming. They're not out there doing quest lines and leveling. That's
exactly. But once the final game releases, I think a lot of people are going to be streaming a lot of the high-level raids, a lot of the strikes, a lot of end-game content, as opposed to just the Crucible matches. But the beta just doesn't give us any insight into that end-game content. So the Crucible matches are the more preferred content to watch on streams.
Was it the same strike from the alpha? Was it Devil's Lair again?
Yeah, it was Devil's Lair again.
Any changes?
To me, it was easier because I knew how to beat everything. It just seemed easier to me.
Well, yeah.
But it's just because I knew how to play it. So it didn't have any changes, no.
And was there higher level gear? I saw so many pictures being posted on Reddit of like level 10 weaponry and stuff.
I found a couple level 10 weapons and gear in the alpha, but it's just so random. When you kill an enemy and then an engram pops out, you're like, oh, that's awesome. I got loot. Yeah. So it's really hit or miss. Like, I was frustrated because I was seeing like level 3s getting these blue level, which are higher than green, which is like the third. White, green, blue is like increasing in rarity. And I was getting frustrated until I actually found a few of my own.
Well, that's good. I know since it's a beta, it's really just about like Reddit pictures and hype. That's what I mainly see this as. It's like, oh, cool, look what this guy found. Or some guy's going to find some secret chest or Easter egg on the last day of the beta. And, Reddit will go nuts. That's just how things work. Story-wise, what was presented, without spoilers for the Xbox crowd, and how did it play?
The story was it got me interested because I was actually listening to what the Ghost was saying. The Ghost is your companion, right?
Yeah, and Dinklage. Dinklage voiceover sounded way better.
Yeah, because a lot of people don't realize in the alpha version, he has to talk monotonous so that they can edit it later. So it can sound more robotic. So whatever. Moving on. The story missions were actually kind of interesting. I actually was very intrigued by the storyline. It was of what you would expect from a shooter sci-fi storyline, good guys versus bad guys, but that's just how it's presented in the beta so far. We don't know if we're the good guys or the bad guys, whatever,
Or if you have the choice to be a good guy or a bad guy.
Right. I don't think we're going to have that choice, though. I think it's going to be a pretty linear storyline. Yeah. And they're putting a lot of emphasis on explore and raids and strikes and other things for other experiences in the game.
Oh, I'm sure, like, over the course of its lifespan, you're going to see so many things changing to track along with the giant story, like, arc.
Yeah, I was going to say, I do want to mention that in comparing the Destiny storyline to Halo, the Destiny storyline takes place in the world in which you can explore. So it is an open world game. Yeah. where if I start a story mission, I don't have to do that story mission. I can go and explore the rest of the world, but once I enter the area that the story mission begins, that's when the story mission would start.
Okay, so you could just accept the quest and then forget about it and go play Crucibles or go to some other planet for a few days, right?
No. If you start the story mission, you can't go play Crucibles because it's a different mode.
Okay.
But if you start the story mission, you are placed in the world where the Explorer mission starts. You can, do those story missions if you want, or you can just turn around and go the opposite direction and go to a different area and just destroy enemies.
I'm getting the feeling from a lot of people that the story feels a little bit generic from what they've seen from the beta. Good guys versus the impending evil, kind of Mass Effect style. We got to save the galaxy. Was this presented, or are you even worried about this since it's just a beta?
It was presented, but I'm not worried about it because it's a beta.
Yeah.
It's just like a lot of people are getting angry about this game, this story is going to suck because this beta story missions are so generic, blah, blah, blah. You answered your own criticisms. It's a beta. You can't make any assumptions about the final game because it's a beta.
Yeah, and
I just know it's going to be fun or not.
It's almost just like try the engine out. If you remember like demo discs back in the day.
Oh my gosh, Xbox Magazine would send you the demo discs.
That sold me on a lot of games, man. They don't do that really anymore. It's all downloaded to the dashboard. But that was a really cool thing because you got to try the engine out. Like, Crash Bandicoot. I got to play a level. It was pretty fun. One level of Crash Bandicoot, though, is not Crash Bandicoot. Like, it's the whole game. Granted, I enjoyed the way the one mission played, and as a kid, I bought Crash Bandicoot, and I was like, man, this series is awesome, and I stuck with it. So I'm thinking this is the same thing with the beta. We're seeing a small percentage of what's presented, and I wouldn't want to have, like, story elements revealed. In any beta I play, they don't ever show, like, the story. If a Final Fantasy beta happened, and they showed, like, a good 30% of the story, they'd lose sales. Like, no doubt.
They'd be like, oh, I know where this is going.
Yeah, I got this.
But the beta stopped at a point where I want to know where this is going.
Mm-hmm.
I want to keep playing.
All right, Crucibles. This one, the good, the bad, and the ugly. Let's address what works. What was fun? The beta looked light years ahead in terms of fun within the Crucibles than the alpha. Like, just plain and simple. Other than Moon, I did not like the games I saw of Moon, and people complained about it. But how did the gunplay work? How was the fun factor? How was the movement?
I'm going to retract my statement from my competitive multiplayer explained and saying that the gunplay was very COD-like.
Okay.
There have been so many instances in which I can outgun anybody. It's just like there are so many Halo gunplay elements. I know you're aiming down sights or whatever, but the way the shieldings and the health system works, it's very Halo. Okay. So it's not necessarily who gets the first shot or who sees who first gets the kill. Yeah. There is way more potential for outplay, just like Halo, as opposed to Call of Duty style in Destiny. So it was a lot more fun, in my opinion, because I was a little bit more experienced with it. I knew how to engage gunfights. I knew how to avoid getting caught. I knew how to outplay my enemy if I got caught.
Of course. And movement-wise, crisp, clunky, what did it feel like?
Very smooth. You have to know how to use your secondary movement ability because the Warlock Glide is similar to the Titan Lift, but it's not the same. And the Hunter Double Jump is just more unique than the others in that the Titan and the Warlock, their secondary movement is sustained. So like you can glide for a really long time. You can lift for a really long time. The Hunter Double Jump just happens. Like, I jump once and then I jump again, and then I can shoot while I'm still in the air. The Warlock or the Titan, if they're using their secondary movement, they still can't shoot while they're in the air. They will just start to drop. Their secondary movement will stop, and they will just fall to their deaths. And there are certain maps and certain areas in the maps where you will need to use that secondary movement to get to that position. But if you're caught in a gunfight and you start to fight back, you're just going to fall to your death.
I see.
So knowing how to use your movement ability is very key. So people might think it's clunky, but they're just not used to it yet.
Finesse. Takes a lot of finesse. It sounds like there's a pretty nice skill ceiling with these abilities.
There's a little bit of fine-tuning with them, yeah.
Cool. Maps. Now, this one I've already talked to you a little bit about. I've heard from other players that they didn't like Moon. Moon was the one from the alpha that had all the vehicles, But
Yes.
like, what were the maps like? If you want to go through them. Also, can you like veto maps? Can you pick maps, or is it just random? When you click Crucible, it's gonna throw you in any of them.
When you click Crucible, it gives you a map. You can't
Okay.
veto it at all.
Yeah.
At least that's what the beta is showing us, and I'm anticipating that to be the case with launch.
Okay.
But all of the maps are very good. Now, Moon just needs tweaks. The map itself is very good. The fact that the vehicles are just very strong in the game makes Moon not very fun.
I see.
So there's these vehicles called the Interceptors, and they're basically your tanks.
Yeah.
But it's basically a Scorpion tank with a Ghost's boost.
Yeah.
So, like, the fact that they're really mobile and can shoot a lot quicker than they should is the fact that makes Moon almost unplayable, because whoever has the better,
are like unconquerable. It sounds like
yeah,
on foot.
They're basically like, if I'm in a gunfight with an Interceptor, I'm going to lose because they're very mobile and they're very strong and they can shoot faster than they should.
I saw so many complaints about it. Like, and just watching it was like,
if you're good with the Interceptor, you can go on a 25-0 killing spree. It's ridiculous. And the fact that 2 of the 3 capture points on Moon are open and the Interceptor can kill you easily from, it just needs, the map just needs some tweaks. The vehicles need some tweaks. It's a beta. It's going to be tweaked for launch. I think the map itself is good. It just needs some tweaks.
Okay, but other maps you said are really good. Go through them.
All the other maps are awesome. So Venus is the main map in the Crucible, other than Moon. So in the Crucible, we played Venus and the Moon.
Yeah.
There's the only 2 maps in the rotation, but the Iron Banner had the other 2. So they had the Mars
right?
map and the Earth map, yeah.
How were they?
They're all really good.
Yeah.
Venus is very flat, but there's lots of corridors you can go through. And Mars, there's lots of corridors, but it has verticality to it.
Cool.
And they all play really well.
Did it echo Halo at all? Did any of the
Yes.
map design feel just a little Halo-y?
Yeah, they're just a little bit bigger than Halo because of the movement abilities and the sprint, but they all flow really well. They're very good, just like Halo maps, and I didn't hate any of the smaller maps.
Okay, so I do a Crucible. I win. What kind of reward do I get in the beta?
So you'll get, obviously, experience if you're still leveling up. If you're not max rank, you'll also get, I think, Glimmer, and there's a chance for you to get a certain piece of gear at the end.
Okay.
You don't always get gear, but you can.
So it's a random chance. Like, the more you play, if you sat in there for an hour, you might roll a nice, I don't know, pair of boots.
You could get like a green, like a rare or uncommon piece of boots. Yeah. It's a piece of loot. Yeah.
That's cool. But each time you play, you get Glimmer. So there's a reward for each map.
Yeah, and you can also accept bounties similar to the challenges from Halo Reach, just like the Iron Banner.
Yeah.
You can take those in the Crucible as well, and you'll get experience and Glimmer from those as well.
That's cool. It's like PvP dailies.
Yep.
All right, gear discrepancies. Were there any large differences where you felt like you were at a disadvantage or something was unfair, or there was a gun that you just couldn't compete with until you got one yourself?
Not really. Not in terms of armor. In terms of weapons, though, the fusion rifles are very strong if you know how to use them. They're basically a long-range shotgun with a charge-up time. So you have to be able to aim while you're charging it, but it's just a longer-range shotgun, and it works very well. And the first time I encountered them, for like the first 10 or so matches, I didn't understand how they worked until I actually found one in the story, in the PvE, whatever, and I picked one up and I started using it for myself. And they're very strong if you know how to use them, but if you're okay with them, then you're just gonna have a bad time because the shotgun's gonna outclass you. I
see. So there really wasn't one thing that made you so frustrated, like, I'm done playing this until I get a scout rifle.
No, it's just like standard online multiplayer experiences, like, what? How did he outgun me? And, it's just like moments like that, but there's not like, okay, I lost that fight because he has a better gun. I didn't experience that very often, if at all, because once you understand how the multiplayer works, you know how the mechanics of the game are, you know how you got outplayed or how you could have done better in certain engagements.
Okay. That's really good to hear. That was one of the things I feared the most with this game. Is like, since it's so gear oriented, is there going to be breaking things in multiplayer? And it sounds like with the Iron Banner, yeah, you can go and try to mess with people who have super duper mega weapons, and it's a special event, so it makes it sort of fun and sort of expected, whereas the normal, regular Crucible stuff is pretty balanced from what you're saying for beta.
Yeah, I think it's pretty balanced.
Any balance-wise or anything further you'd want to add?
Apart from the vehicle tweaks, I don't think that they can do much.
Yeah.
Now, no, yeah. Apart from the vehicle tweaks, I just want to wait until the final game to see what they've added or removed from
I'm
the beta.
sure it'll see a lot of like regular updates. This isn't a 343 FPS where we wait 6 months for like a tweak to happen.
I really hope there's bi-weekly, as in every 2 weeks.
Well, I bet you there's going to be like weekly events as well as a lot of updates coming soon. I bet you.
Oh yeah, that would be nice.
Way production cycles work. I bet you they've already got patches in development after the game's release, like ready to go.
Oh yeah.
Well, cool, dude. I'm very excited.
I will give a quick tip for those who have listened this far into the podcast. A quick tip for everybody in the beta, and I'm going to be doing a lot of tip videos for my channel once the beta hits for the Xbox users. In the Crucible, or in the Iron Banner, both, when you capture a point, you get more points depending on how many people capture the point. Each person gets 75 points capturing a point, but the more people they capture, the more points you get, obviously. Mm-hmm. So at the very start of the match, if my entire team of 6 captures the first point, we will have a 6 times 75 points at the very start of the match. I see way too many people running off to capture like the enemy's spawn point, and we only get 75 points, and if 2 or 3 people capture their points, they get 150 or 225 points. And that's at the very start of the match. So that's an early advantage you can take over your enemies.
That's way interesting. Well, you heard it here, folks. First, folks, those all blended together.
It came from Twitter.
It came from Twitter. We have a tweet today from Wes at Lone Wolves. We asked how the beta was going, and he told us that he's loving the beta. He says, it's smooth, looks great, and just amazing, despite the short story you get. I really hope Bungie does port over the beta. Characters now. I just found a rare item that needs level 10. Well, I don't think they're going to port over Lone Wolf, Wes. What do you think, Ditty?
They've said that there's a few things that are going to carry over, but I think they're just meaning that special event on the 26th at 2 p.m. I think just what the rewards you get from there are going to carry over, not everything. And if you put it into perspective, all the gear you earn now, there's going to be way better stuff to earn in the final game, so you just have to find it.
Yeah, of course. Level 20, man. That level 10 gear is going to be nothing once you get to that level 20. No Tower Talk today, guys. If you want, you can send in a voicemail to destinytheshow@gmail.com. If it's a question or whatever you really like, we'll play it here on the show. Keep it short and sweet, just like this show was today. I am BBK Dragoon. You can follow me at BBK Dragoon. Ditty, where can the nice folks find ya?
YouTube.com/whooshness with 3 O's and Twitter.com/whooshness with 3 O's again.
Are you going to be streaming anymore once the maintenance finishes up?
I don't know. I think I'm just going to focus and devote my time to making YouTube content this time.
So you've got the recording PC back.
Oh, yes, I do.
Nice. Well, everybody, thank you for listening today. Just so you know, the beta is on maintenance Monday and Tuesday. I believe it's back Wednesday for PlayStation users, correct, Ditty?
PlayStation and Xbox.
Wait. It starts Wednesday for Xbox users?
What? Yeah.
I thought it was Thursday. Oh, yeah, you're right.
The 23rd, definitely.
Yeah, well, the sad part for me, man, is I'm on such a slow connection that I'll be very lucky if I even get it downloaded by Sunday. So, everyone, I'm going to live vicariously through you. If you're a Destiny content creator, send me your stuff if you want to torture me, because I'll watch it. I'll put that knife and just twist it and feel that Destiny love as you guys just have your adventures, and I'm off downloading a 14-gigabyte download. Remember to check us out at destinytheshow.com for regular posts and updates. Follow at Destiny the Show on Twitter. Send us your tweets to be on It Came From Twitter. And I think that's going to do it today. Everyone, we'll see you in the beta. Don't forget to check out the Destiny the Show clan. All right, we're out.